This is WPTV, William Patterson Television.
Welcome back to the desk. The Jets are flying and the Giants are dying. Here to tell us about it is Matthew Goldman, J.J. Woodage, Julian Carrera, and Bijan Pulley. During the trade deadline, the New York Jets traded away arguably their two best players, defensive tackle Quinnen Willams and their cornerback Sauce Gardner. Goldie, take us through their careers in Jet Green.
I would gladly tell you about their careers in Jet Green. Let's start off with Sauce Gardner. Just over 200 tackles, only 3 interceptions, but he had 47 pass deflections and a coverage grade of 91.8. And then you look at Quinnen Willams, even better stats. 322 tackles, 59 TFLs, about 40 sacks, and 8 forced fumbles. Both of these players were juggernauts, both top 3 at their position, but the Jets are now in rebuild mode, so that's why they sent them away.
JJ, I'll go to you. Who was the bigger loss, Sauce or Williams?
It's Quinnen Williams, and look, everybody knows in the NFL in this age, you need a pass rusher, and Quinnen Williams was a top 3 D tackle in the league. Now, was Sauce Gardner good? Yes. Sauce Gardner was great at his position, but you can get by with a great pass rush and a bad secondary. You cannot get by with a good secondary and a bad pass rush. So Quinnen Williams is a guy they really feel the loss by.
Julian?
Well, frankly, I actually think it's Sauce Gardner. I will admit you can't do things without a bad pass rush, but that's not the case for the Jets. If anything, it's a lot easier for the Jets to build around their front seven. They've got Quincy Williams, they got Will McDonald, they got Jermaine Johnson. Could you guys even name a Jets secondary player?
Brandon Stevens.
Yes.
Can we not speak his name? What are we doing?
Nothing screams winning football like Brandon Stevens at cornerback. That being said, like I said, without Sauce Gardner, it's very hard for the Jets to make up around their secondary. So, yes, I think Sauce Gardner is the bigger loss.
Goldie, who's the bigger loss?
Quinnen Williams, Big Q, has been a force for years now for the Jets since entering the league in 2019. Over 100 quarterback hits, as we saw in the graphic, 59 tackle for losses, 40 sacks. He also has 8 balls. He's force-free, 14 deflections. He's a one-time All-Pro, 3-time Pro Bowler. He's consistently been a top 3 defensive tackle in football. A lot of people like to argue with Sauce Gardner, saying that he doesn't have the knack for the football. But Quinnen Williams is a guy who's all over that football, and I think he's a bigger loss.
Bijan Foussey.
I got to go with my man Sauce Gardner. He's a shutdown corner. He's been that since day one he came into the league. And when you have a shutdown corner, they have the ability to shut off one side of the field unless they're following #1 receivers, which Sauce can do as well, but they didn't allow him to do it as much. And he makes offense so much more predictable. And finding corners like Sauce are rare to find. And you traded Sauce in the middle of his prime, while Quinnen is on the tail end of his prime and on the decline.
Look, all I'm going to say is this. You look at the Green Bay Packers, and that's all I have to say. Look at Green Bay. They have a great pass rush, but they don't have not one single lockdown.
But Keyshawn Nixon is taking a step.
He's not a lockdown corner, though.
There's no way that we will ever compare Sauce Gardner and Keyshawn Nixon.
Oh, no, I'm not. No. He brought it up. No, that's on him. That's on him.
He's trying to put that on me.
It is on you.
He knows he's wrong.
On Tuesday, November 10th, the New York Giants fired head coach Brian Daboll. Julian, show us his totals as coach for Big Blue.
With pleasure. Brian Daboll and his tenure with the Giants had 20 wins, 4 losses, 33.6% win percentage, and 1 playoff win. Certainly not the best record for a head coach, but he tried his best.
The guy stunk.
Oh, my God. Bijan, why couldn't the Daboll and Giants connection work?
I mean, I'm going to just be honest with people. It might not be an answer people expect, but he was hard to work with. According to everyone that was in the building, he had a fiery personality. At times could be a hothead. We even saw it on the sideline. And he wore his emotions on his sleeve, which is not a bad thing, but as a head coach, you got to be a little bit more even-keeled, and sometimes you let his emotions take over him. And all these factors I just listed were a reason they played a big part in why Daboll pushed Wink Martindale away, who was a very good defensive coordinator, and after that, he had to hire Shane Bowen, who can't even get the most out of the pass rush of Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Dexter Lawrence. You know how crazy that is? You still have a bad defense with that pass rush?
JJ.
Look, there's only one answer. It's poor player development. This guy just didn't know how to develop his players. I mean, Evan Neal's noticeable one, and Matt Goldman knows this. That's a swinging gate right there. Just lets everything go through the gate. But the notable one is Daniel Jones. He couldn't develop Daniel Jones. Now you see Daniel Jones go to Indianapolis, and he looks like a top 5 quarterback. So he just didn't develop these players right. But Brian Daboll, you tried your hardest, though. Like Julian said, you tried your best.
Gold star for him.
Julian.
Play calling, absolutely. I mean, his specialty play was the 3 and out. You guys know the on first down, you run the 2-yard rush. On second down, you run the 1-yard rush. And on third down, you run the incomplete pass. I mean, what are we doing? This guy. Granted, he never had the best weapons to throw to, but even in his last years, he had Malik Neighbors and Cam Scatterable, and he still couldn't, work the scheme around that. It got so bad, he had to get Mike Kafka to step in, and once you get Mike Kafka calling the plays, that's how you know you've hit rock bottom.
Goalie.
Late game collapses. 3 games this year the Giants blew. They were up 19-0 going to the fourth quarter against the Denver Broncos. They lost it 33-32. The Cowboys game, they allowed 20 points to Dallas in the fourth quarter. Dallas won the game-winning field goal against the Giants. The Bears game, they were up 17-10 going to the fourth quarter. It was 24-20. What is going on? How can you not win these games? The Giants have 2 wins this year. They should have 5. And he's been doing this all throughout his tenure. Send him back to Buffalo, get him some chicken wings, and Daboll could be the OC in Buffalo.
With Brian Daboll out as head coach, the Giants will be hiring someone new once the regular season concludes. Goldie, it's never too early to predict who this next head coach will be for Big Blue. So who do you think that will be?
Cliff Kingsbury. We saw Kingsbury as a head coach, but it didn't go great in his tenure. Currently, he's the OC with Washington. He has the 13th ranked offense. He's 26th in passing yards, 7th in rushing yards, and points per game, he's 21st in the NFL. So with that Washington Commanders offense, they've had a player or his time in Arizona. They had a playoff appearance in year 3 after a hot start. But he's led a fantastic attack with that Commanders offense last season. He's developed quarterbacks like Pat Mahomes. He's developed quarterbacks like Kyler Murray, Jaden Daniels. He developed Johnny Manziel. How can you forget about Johnny Manziel? He was a head coach at Texas Tech, a senior offensive analyst at USC, a Super Bowl champion as a player. This is the right pedigree the Giants have to get.
JJ?
Look, usually you don't want to go with a defensive coach, but I'm going to go with a defensive coach just because of pure culture, and that's Brian Flores. Brian Flores had the 12th ranked defense, the 9th ranked passing defense, the 24th ranked rushing defense, and the 24th in turnovers this season. But look, those stats doesn't tell the stories. Because if you look at the Vikings defense right now, they don't got a lot of name-brand guys on that defense. But if you ask any quarterback in the league, they don't want to see this defense because of how confusing it is. Imagine him with Keyshawn Thibodeau, Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, and Dexter Lawrence up front. Imagine what he can do with that defense. So I'm going to go with Brian Flores, and they definitely need culture there.
Bijan?
I got to go with the man in Seattle, Clint Kubiak, son of Gary Kubiak, legendary coach. On this season, he has Seattle playing like a top-flight offense, 9th in offensive rank, 6th in passing yards, 17th in rushing yards, and 3rd in points per game. And it's even better, like outside those basic stats, when you look even deeper, it gets even better. He has Seattle playing at a top-flight offense despite their EPA per rush being negative 0.121, which is 29th. Their rush success rate, 38.6, which is 26th in the league. But they still run the ball a lot because to open up their pass game. Their EPA per dropback, 0.266, best in the NFL. Best pass success rate, 54.1%, best in the NFL. Kubiak has Sam Darnold playing the best ball in his career, and nobody thought that was possible after what he did in Minnesota the previous year. JSN is on pace for 1,966 receiving yards, which would break Megatron's record for most receiving yards in a season. Kubiak is a young, emerging, high-level, great offensive mind, which would be great for Jackson Dart development. And hiring an OC has a better chance with greater longevity than hiring a DC to be your head coach.
That's why we call him Mr. Analytics. You heard those analytics he was spitting out? That's like an M&M.
Yeah, I did not expect to see your estimated run per average.
You heard that?
Listen, we got to get EPA per pass on the desk. We have to.
Julian, finish off. Who do you think the new potential head coach will be?
Vance Joseph, absolutely. If we take a look at his stats here, in his first 2 years with Denver, he did have, he was 3rd defensive rank, 6th in pass yards allowed, 4th in rushing yards allowed, and 26th in turnovers. Certainly some great stats. But what really this comes down to is the Giants have tried to run behind an offensive-minded coach for almost a decade now. They tried it with Ben McAdoo, they tried it with Pat Shurmur, and they tried it with Daboll. It has never worked. Maybe, just maybe, stay with me now, gentlemen, maybe we try a defensive-minded coach. Who better than Vance Joseph? He has spearheaded this absolutely elite Broncos defense to an 8-2 record because we all know Bo Nix has done nothing to contribute to that. And they might be able to finally make use of that star-studded defensive line that Shane Bowen keeps dropping into QB spies.
With all of the major awards having a consensus for who the front runners will be, Defensive Rookie of the Year appears to be uncertain. Julian, who do you think will take home this coveted award?
Well, there aren't a lot of candidates that catch my attention, but if I had to pick one, I would certainly choose Jahad Campbell, mostly because he's a jack of all trades type of player. He can get pressures on the QB, he can play pass coverage, he can stop the run, and he can even knock the ball out even with that forced fumble of his. He's got 50 tackles and an interception as well. Also, he plays for the Eagles, and the Eagles being the great team that they are, the NFL Honors likes to award players who play for good teams.
Goldie?
I'm going to pick Nick Emenwari, as Julian mentioned. I'm going to pick a player who plays for a good team. 32 tackles this year, 4 TFL, 6 pass deflections, half a sack. He's only played 6 games this year. 3 of them he started. Emenwari fills the void at nickel for Seattle since moving Devin Witherspoon to the outside. So you have a lockdown 3-corner system with Devin Witherspoon, Reek Wolin, and Nick Emenwari. Going to the draft, he had a lot of first-round buzz last year. He fell to the second round. Seattle trades up for him, and they got a steal. He had a breakout performance against Arizona last week. He had 9 tackles and 4 pass deflections. He is on the process of becoming an elite nickel in the NFL.
JJ?
I'm going to go with the rookie from the Browns, Carson Swanger. He leads the team in tackles with 74 a pick, has 1.5 sacks. But look, this defense is all good. This defense is good. Myles Garrett, they draft good defensive players. They just don't know how to draft offensive players. And I'm going to be honest with y'all guys, I don't know who's going to even win this award right now. I'm just honestly just saying the name. Al Clark can win this award. This is just it's up in the air right now. It really is.
Yeah, it's up in the air. Bijan, I'll go to you.
Yeah, very tough award to pick, but I'm gonna stick with the New York team. I'm gonna go with Abdul Carter. He's getting a high amount of pressures, but he's just not finishing off with sacks. On the year, he has 30 total pressures, which has him ranked tied for 15th amongst all defensive linemen, but only has 0.5 sacks on the year. Eventually, there will be positive regression to the mean, where that pressures, he will finish them off with sacks, because a lot of his pressures are resulting in Brian Burns sacks, we're keeping in 100. And along with Shane Bowen using him more ideally, because as you pointed out, just dropping Abdul Carter as a spy, that's not using him right. Let him rush the passer, man. And I can see him finishing the season with 8 to 10 sacks.
What?
You just said
8 to 10 sacks? 10. The guy has, what, a half sack this year?
8 to 10.
You just predicated his success on Shane Bowen being competent.
You know,
Shane Bowen is the farthest thing from competent in the NFL. You could put Al Clark, you could put anyone in this building as a professor, as defensive coordinator. They'll get more production out of Abdul Carter. He has half a sack this year. There's just no way he's 8 to 10 to finish the year.
Positive regression to the mean.
He's playing like Javon Clowney right now. He's a pressure merchant.
What's wrong with Javon Clowney?
All he did was get pressures.
That's respectful to Javon Clowney.
That's not respectful. All you did is get pressures. I need sacks.
Where's Clowney nowadays? In free agency. He's chilling on a beach in Cancun, Mexico.
I wish that was me, honestly. But
that's the whole point.
That will wrap it up for the NFL today. Don't forget to follow us at SportsDeskWP for updates and more. Thank you to all the cast and crew, and a big shout out to our wonderful studio manager, Al Clark. From Studio B in Hamilton Hall, and from everyone here at the desk, I'm Tyler Cooper saying so long. See you next Friday right here on WPTV. Go Bills.